Time? Vogue? Something like that? Why? He's staring, like he knows me. Maybe he just wants to know you. I made a face, playfully splashing a handful of water onto the platform. That's not funny, she shrieked, her body flinching against the cold drops. Fearing retaliation, I laughed and swam out of reach. Daphne and I had been best friends since our Swiss boarding school roomed us together almost a decade ago. I'd been a scared, shy adolescent who'd wanted nothing more than to call my father and demand he come rescue me from my alpine prison. But when this 12-year-old girl walked in with all the swagger of a young femme fatale, she took one look at me and said, "We'll make a rebel out of you yet," instilling confidence where there was none before. She taught me valuable life lessons, such as how to smoke gitane like Brigitte Bardot, the subtle art of stuffing a bra, and the quickest way to shimmy up a trellis 3 hours after curfew. Some of our old schoolmates were already married, while others had gone on to the hallowed halls of Smith and Wellesley. But there was a third path for girls like us, a tiny side door into a world of glamorous adventure. Jets were our magic carpet, delivering us to places where deadlines and decisions didn't exist. We followed the sun, relishing the days before boys and rings would appear to bring us back down to earth. For both Daphne and me, that moment seemed blessedly far off. After completing a few more laps around the pool, I swam to a ladder and lifted myself onto the concrete deck, arms and legs aching with exhaustion. Twisting the water out of my hair, I still sensed a pair of eyes on me, though I didn't dare turn to look. Not yet. "Towel, madam?" A club employee greeted me with a stack. "Sí, gracias." After running the terry cloth over the wild swirls of my Pucci swimsuit, I spread it over a lounge chair before motioning to a passing waiter, who approached to take my drink order. "Margarita, por favor, y una más, para el hombre." I pointed to the bar, toward the tall figure who now had his back to me. Mimicking the action of taking a picture with my hands, I tried to convey that I wanted to send a drink to the photographer and not the celebrity standing near him. The awkwardness of making the first move was a fair trade for satisfying my curiosity. Picking up my tattered notebook, I started to jot down some lyrics I'd come up with during the swim. I'd work out an arrangement on the ukulele in my hotel room later, away from eyes and ears and words like hobby and lark and isn't that sweet, and all the other whispered slights that made me sigh with defeat. Engrossed by a turn of phrase I'd just written, I didn't notice the looming shadow until a drop of water fell from the bottom of a glass and landed on my thigh. "I believe this one's yours, ma'am." Raising my eyes, I sucked in a breath at the sight of the man standing in front of me. He wore a blue polo shirt that matched the cloudless sky above us, contrasting with the leather camera strap slung around his neck. His blonde hair was styled clean-cut, and a square jaw framed a mouth of straight white teeth. I hadn't realized from afar just how handsome he was, but up close it was obvious. He was the type usually found on a 50-foot movie screen, not standing beside a pool in Acapulco, real as the drink he held. The slight bend in the middle of his nose was the one thing preventing him from being too perfect, like the sculptor had looked away for a moment and let the chisel slip. But even this only intrigued me further. Clearing my suddenly dry throat, I explained, "There must be some mistake. I ordered 2, one for each of us. I hate to drink alone." "See, that's the thing, ma'am. I try to stay sharp while I'm on the job, but I wanted to thank you just the same." His voice held the southern twang I missed with every beat of my heart, bringing both sorrow and comfort at the same time. "Didn't mean to interrupt if you're working on something. Is that a poem?" He stared curiously at my book. Quickly, I closed the cover and placed it off to the side. I didn't know which I feared more, condescension or genuine praise. "I'm 22. That's too young to be called ma'am. Caroline, please," I said, extending a hand. He shook it, his grip firm and confident. "What a relief. A normal name. Everyone I've met here goes by a funny little nickname, Mimsy or Bobo or Kiki, and that's just the men." I laughed, charmed.